Well, good morning everybody. This is the English guy in Mexico. It is the 4th of March 2016. It is 11:30 in the morning and the temperatures are rising rapidly. It's now up to 22 centigrade, which is about 72 Fahrenheit. So I wanted to talk today, or finish talking today, about chickens. I've got quite a few videos up about opossums that get into my chicken coop, and they've killed one of the chickens, which is not bad, I guess, in 2 years. But I wanted to explain why I've actually got the top of my coop open. You'll see a lot of videos on YouTube where animals get into your chicken house. No matter how much money you seem to spend, there will always at some point be an animal get in there, and unfortunately, because the chickens are confined in there, the animal, whether it's an opossum in my case, or ferrets and stoats and foxes, they'll usually kill everything. Well, what happens with mine is mine simply get out. Mine fly over the top, and I normally find them out here in the morning waiting for me. The reason that I left it open wasn't purely that, it was because I had two fruit trees. There's an orange in the background, and this is a durazno, a peach tree, and they were both effectively dead. I asked the previous owners 2 years ago why there was nothing growing here and nothing on the trees, and they said, well, there's no water and there's no fertilizer, there's no nothing. So I went out and bought a bag of fertilizer, and I actually got about 3 oranges the first year and about 4 or 5 peaches. Well, so when I thought, well, let's have some chickens, what I did is I thought, well, I'm going to get all this free fertilizer. The chickens are going to eat all the bugs and all the weeds in here, so I put the fence around the trees. Obviously I put a couple of wooden posts, which I've changed now to metal, and these trees are going crazy. I mean, I don't know if you can see on here, but there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buds on here. So this year I am fully expecting to get 30, 40, maybe 50 peaches off here, because all the fertilizer is going to the bottom. The chickens are pecking out all the weeds. So I let them out round about midday. I sit out in the garden here. It's too hot to do any work. I get all my work done in the morning, then I sit down under the palm trees, and the chickens are let out and they free range over 2 acres. But I only do it while I'm here, simply because we do still get wild dogs coming over the fences, and they actually kill more chickens. So that's why. Now, I went on the internet and I thought, okay, well, I can't really put a roof on here because of the trees. So is there another way to stop animals climbing up and over? Because I've actually watched them. I've caught 3 opossums in here, which I've killed. They've only killed 1 chicken, but I've always managed to get to the opossums before they've killed the chickens. Basically, they grab them by the bottom of the legs and pull them off the perches. Then they seem to try to disable them by getting the top of the wing. Then they try to get the throat. Well, they've only killed 1, but they've probably inflicted at least a dozen injuries on these chickens. They seem to heal up okay. But I thought, well, I've actually watched them climbing up the side. And then I went on the internet and somebody said, why don't you create a floppy top? And sure enough, I typed in floppy top design or a floppy fence to deter animals. And all I've done, this is the normal 1.5 meter chicken fence. And I've got a very small top section, about a foot wide, 12 inches, and all I've done is I've just secured it to the top deliberately loose, so that theoretically what happens, an animal comes up, obviously because this is pretty solid, but as soon as it gets to the top here, I don't know if I can demonstrate this, the fence will actually collapse. So you put as few ties in as you can. I've been experimenting with different sizes of overlap here, which gives me different levels of floppiness, if that makes sense. What I have noticed is that there is a possibility of an animal getting up and under this floppy top. So what I've done is I've got some old metal wire hangers, coat hangers. I've cut the top off, the loop, and I've straightened the base out, and I'm interweaving to stop an animal. So here's your old metal coat hanger, and I've threaded it through so that this section now is secure. I've really got to do probably another 2 coat hangers this side, and this side doesn't look very good. I understand a lot of people want everything to look good, but this just looks totally functional. The animal's going to come up, it's going to grab this top, and it's going to fall off. The top is going to collapse onto the animal, if that makes sense. Now, on one of the designs that I noticed on the internet, what they do is they actually put some wire stays through here to kind of keep it up a little bit and make it look a bit more respectable. Well, I'm not really bothered, to be honest. I like things to be functional, so the fact that it's hanging down and an animal can't get underneath here, is absolutely perfect. Now, I've still got a little section to do on that side, but this I think is going to work. So I started doing this about a week ago, and quite frankly I've got a bit bored and moved on to other things. If you check any of my videos, I've been working on this shade cloth because I need to get stuff planted. But yeah, I'm going to come back here, I'm going to finish this and maybe just do another tape to show, but I honestly think this is going to work. And obviously the only problem you might still get is predators flying in, like eagles or hawks or whatever, but I don't see a lot of those around here. I've seen a few buzzards, and they seem to go for dead animals off the road more than actually coming here for live birds. I've seen them sat in the trees over there, but they never seem to bother the chickens. So until that happens, I'm not overly bothered. In fact, if we just zero in, you can just see some blossoms coming up now. Just in the last few days we had about a ½ an inch of rain, and this thing is just starting to blossom. So all that fertilizer from the chickens is going straight to the roots or straight to the soil. The rain is running off the flat roof, that mixes in and that all soaks through. There's no weeds, so the soil is now pretty good, and I think this tree is going to be superb. So hopefully this floppy design, floppy top, to stop critters or animals eating or attacking your chickens. So just a little idea there for the guys on YouTube. So this is the English guy in Mexico saying bye for now.